Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum te shantathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum te shantathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya swaha. Om ye dharma tum te shantathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya swaha. All phenomena, what is that? Arises from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well is taught by the great seer. Deyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swaha. Okay. The continuation from the Bodhicitta, the method of equalizing the exchanges. The sevenfold cause-effect method to generate Bodhicitta. The first is the prerequisite, meaning the preliminary, which is the equanimity. After the equanimity, then the number two meaning the main practice. Under the main practice, there are 7 steps, and the first one is remember all beings as one's mothers, marshe. Marshe, remembering all beings as one's mothers. So here, how we do is that we think about so basically, of course, the rebirth concept. This is what is to be established and gain some confidence. And meanwhile, with the actual practice, we think about the mother of this life, and first we think about the mother of this life, how that the same mother, the same person has is your mother, and then has been your mother not only in this life, but the mother so many times in the past. Not just being kind to us you in this one life, but in so many lifetimes. Then you think about the neutral person. No doubt that this neutral person also had been my mothers, or not necessarily mothers. And the Buddha mentioned about that the other sentient beings have been your mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, teachers, and so forth. So many times you can think about. So anyone who you find as very close, who you find as so close and so affectionate and genuinely affectionate, you can think of in that light. You can think of it in that light. And whereas some people can be more, some people maybe due to some kind of training or from your past lives, it may be easy for you to be very creative. Not necessarily that I need to have someone who is very close as the mother. Only then we can think about the others as one mothers. Whereas if we don't have, then you find it difficult. Then you might have a very affectionate sister or a brother or something. Then you expand on that basis. So some people, even without that, by seeing others, the other young children who have been being loved and taken care of by the mothers, then from there you can just extend for yourself that in my past lives, I too must have received so much love and affection from all beings as my mothers, the way this young child is getting now. Okay, this is what we have to think often. And then the neutral beings, and then the enemies. And even within a single lifetime, we see that someone who is the worst of your enemies in the first part of your life, then later on come to know that they become so close and affectionate. If this is what happens in one lifetime, what you mentioned of those of the past lives when separated by the death. So you think about the same thing with the enemies as well. So in this life, of course, someone who is creating difficulties on me, but it is not always the case 100%. So for example, even the worst of the person, say someone you can think of, and then that person, how much that person loves his or her children. No doubt when I was in the past a child of that particular person, no doubt he or she has given this tremendous love and affection. So this, we have to think in that form. So this is remember all beings as one's mothers, one. Then number 2 is what? Marshi. The first one is Marshi. Second one is, what is that in Tibetan? Tinten. Remembering the kindness of others. Okay. Now, seeing that all beings have been so close to you as your mother, as your brothers, sisters, father, teachers, whatever. Seeing that others have been so kind to you, meaning so close to you. Close means that we have benefited so much from them. We have benefited so much from them. So this is remembering their kindness. Remember the kindness. So it is very important to think of the current presently how the mothers, they just sacrifice everything for the children. You have to see to that. And what I think Chenjen said earlier, that when somebody becomes a parent, only then one knows that one parents have likewise given so much love and affection to you. Okay, this is very true. So the thing is that we need to remember, we need to see you need to see this. Seeing is believing. When you see this again, it will reinforce our love and affection of that we have received from our parents, from your parents of this life, and the parents of the former lives. Say how the mothers, they sacrifice everything One time, I remember from South India going to North India to receive teachings from His Holiness in the train, in the bogie. So I was in the compartment. I was in one bed, and there was a family: the father, mother, and the son. And I was just observing, because it was my passion then, and even now it is so close to me, to just observe the relationship in the parents and the children, so that I can use that in my practice. So I was just observing. It's very funny. What happened? It's like a triangle. The son, father, and the mother. And the son, when he was a little bit mischievous, the father, "Hey, don't you know how to behave yourself?" The son would become very stiff, right? So the first one was under the father. The son was under the father, and the mother would on the bed on the corner. The mother would sit very relaxed and comfortably, and when she wants something, she will call the father, call her husband. "Hey, whatever his name. Hey, Mr. A, I need this." "Yes, Mr. A is right there on his top, on the finger top, on his toes. Oh, what do you need next?" Wow. Son was under the father's control. The father was under the mother's control. And the son wants something. Son would never turn to his father. He would turn to his mother and just say something. And the mother would be there. "What do you want?" Like this. The mother's under the control of the son. Right? This was incredibly a drama I was seeing. And the son, he was under control of the father because he was afraid the father may slap him. And the father was under control of the mother. I have no clue why. And the mother was under control of the father, under the son, because of the love and affection. It's so beautiful. This is the amount of love and affection and the son was very young. So this love and affection we received from our parents when we were young. And never forget this, except for few, we all equally receive love and affection from our mother and father likewise, and particularly the mother, right? If you look at these situations, which we could see now, from there we could infer how much love that you receive from your own mothers. Okay. So one time again in the train. Train is one of the best places. That was, I think, 3 years. No, more than 3 years. Maybe about 6 years ago. More than 6 years. It's like 6 years ago. Again, from north to south, I was going there. And again, there was a couple, the father, mother, and the son. And the son, the father was very gentle. And the mother was very, but the dominant, not in a bad sense, very powerful and influential, very powerful. And the son can say anything to the mother. And the father is very gentle, but little strict to the son. And the son said, and the father said, "Okay, so all three are sitting down there in the lower bed, all three are sitting. And then it was the following night. And the father said, the mother could not say this to the son. The father said, "Okay, you want to sleep?" And he said, "Yes, I like to sleep." And he said that, "Oh, you sleep with your mom." And he said, "No." He said, "And then where will you sleep?" He said, "I'll sleep up the upper decker." Then he said, "Okay, your mom will come to sleep with you." He said, "No." "Then I'll come to sleep with you." He said, "No." And he said, "So there are only 2 beds, and very narrow. And this very young boy, he wants to sleep by himself. He wants to cover the whole the bed, and very narrow bed. The father and mother both sleep there. And he said that how can we two of us big ones can sleep in this very narrow bed? He said, no, I want to sleep by myself. And the father said, no. And the mother said, no, it's okay. so the mothers laugh. So he was sleeping there. And the two of them squeezing, one from here, being squeezed. And then he started to complain. I want this, I want that. And the father would not listen. And the mother already heard everything. And the mother said, the father's name, I think is Sonam. I remember that. And the mother said, Sonam, he meaning the son needs the sisters. The father should get up. Otherwise, if the mother had no instruction, he will never get up. He gets up and okay, what else? What else do I take out? Right? Okay, it's fine. Then give it there. Okay. So mother, while down there, mother was constantly thinking about the son. And then she never stopped. Again, and Sonam. Oh, our son did not have his medicine. Find the medicine. And the father had no clue where the medicine was. Right? And then he was looking in the bag, and he could not find it. And mother exactly knew where the medicine was. And the mother said, bring it back. And brought her, and she could look at it so easily there. And then again she gave it to the son. Again after a while, her mind is constant after the son. I said, my son, are you hungry? Are you hungry? And he said, oh, I like something, this. Again she would, the mother's mind is always after the son. And then when the son said, I'd like to stay up there by myself, the mother said, okay, make the bed. Ask the father to make the bed. So the father made the bed, everything. What next to do? Right? So the father still wait for the instruction from the mother. And the mother gives all the instruction. Everything to do with the son. Nothing to do with themselves. It's amazing, tremendous, amazing, the dynamics of the love and affection the mother gives to the child. This is how 99% of the people are raised, except for some people where the mother must have been going through very difficult times like depression and so forth. That is exception. Otherwise, we all went through this experience where the mother gives so much love and affection to us. Okay, so when we think like this, then we see that particularly at that age is fine, somehow you can go around, but when you are just 1 day old, 1 week old, 2 weeks old, right? Like this, just like a piece of flesh. And for the mother, this is the most precious thing in the world. And you don't know what is meant by smiling, and the mother smiles at you. And you don't know what is meant by all these sounds, and the mother talks to you, right? And for her, you are everything. And in this world, in fact, nobody knows you. But the mother, for the mother, you are the most precious thing in this world, right? So if you smile, the mother is so happy. If you start to show some pain, the mother just starts to cry. Right? This is how we receive the love and affection from mother. If you think like this, it's amazing, amazing, so beautiful. So the thing is that we all have this seed. We all have this seed of the love and affection that we receive from our parents, and particularly mother. We have that seed. It is so rigorous there. But same, when we're heavily dependent on the parents, the seed is surfaced. So the moment you see that your mother is leaving you for about 1 hour, then you can't bear the pain. So then as we grow up, we become more and more independent, right? Independent meaning, say, physically, you can go around, you can get what you like on your own. Then the seed of the love is still there. It's still very active, but then it slowly goes down. Then it becomes more and more inside. And then we take for granted this seed, and then slowly, particularly when one reaches the age 16, 17, 18, where all the young boys and girls, they tend to behave themselves as very self-sufficient. Then one starts to complain the mother, complain the father, and so forth. And then when you reach the age like 20, 21, 22, like this, then maybe conflicts start. Actually, there's no basis of conflict. The parents, believe it or not, and see how true that is. The conflicts, they are all hovering around. The mother wishing the best for you, and she doesn't know how to give you the best. And she thinks, whatever she thinks best for you, she will do that for you. And for you, this is a nuisance. Right? For you, this is a nuisance, and for you, this is overprotective. For you, this is overprotective and overpossessive, and the control. No. Actually, if the mother knows, like how the Buddha knows about how to tackle you so nicely without any, the hurt and so forth, 100% the mother will do it this way. The mother wants to do the best thing for you, but the only thing is that, one thing, she doesn't have the clairvoyance, right? And then what she thinks the best, she does it, and it may not suit you. And because you love the mother so much, mother loves you so much, you take for granted that what is not suitable, you shout. For example, if it is 10% not suitable, you can easily shout the mother. If this 10% not suitable is done by your boss to you, you will not shout. Right? The same 10% which is uncomfortable to you, when they're done by the boss, you will not shout. You will, yes sir, okay sir, or okay ma'am. Right? When it is done by your mother, you will shout, because you take for granted the love and affection, whereas the boss does not love you as much. So therefore, you dare not shout. Right? So from this we see that you do have the sense of love and affection of parents. The only thing is that we take for granted, and then on the surface we tend to simply express. The fact that we express this much is a clear indication that deep inside you have a tremendous love. Only thing is that love, it goes down too much. It is there, still there, goes too much, and the conflicts, the clash in what you want and what your mother wants for you. Right? There's a little clash there, and that becomes the magnified. In actuality, it is not the true love and affection that you, not only the mother has towards you, you also have a tremendous love towards your mother. That's a fact. How do we know this? If somebody from outside comes to even say something rude against your mother, you will be there to defend the mother. You will be the first person to defend the mother, which means that you do have this tremendous love and affection. It's not that you have the greater affection towards the boss than your mother. That's not true, right? But the thing is that our mind becomes turned towards the difference. Turned towards our mind is directed towards the difference between you and your mother's thought. So the common factors, the love and affection, that is taken for granted, and it just went deep down. And whereas the difference surfaced, and this is how the problem is. Whereas if our mind now coming through this Jambi retreat, if we pull this seed from deep inside, pull this out, it's so beautiful, it's so beautiful. How do we pull this out? It's very easy. Just think about the affection, the love that you have received from your mother. Say the more you think about it. For example, say like seeing others, how the mothers they treat the young children. Just see them, how they sacrifice everything for you. Right? How they sacrifice everything for you. Okay, once in England, in Cambridge, when I was in Cambridge there for a brief time, there was one lady, and I learned from that she's so interested in Buddhist philosophy and Buddhist teachings. And she and her husband was one of the organizers of my talk. And I came to know that she is precisely interested in the Buddhist teachings, practice, and so forth. Then, during the actual teaching, she was not there. She was not there. When the actual talk happened, she was not there. Then I inquired the husband, what happened to, I think her name is Michelle. What happened to Michelle? Then the answer that I got was that she went to pick up the sons from the school. So she's daring to give up all what she treasures for her children. You're getting it? This is exactly what happened to each one of us during our young days. The parents, and particularly the mother, they sacrifice everything for us, right? So if you think like this is the more we think about this, then we see that now the dynamics between me and my mother should not be which is correct, which is wrong. The dynamics, the priority should not be the what is correct. What is correct? You are not correct. If you do correctly, I will love you. If you don't do correctly, no, that is the priority. So this is when the affection, goes deep, goes just somewhere in the bottom. It is there in the bottom. The fact that you are saying that you should be doing correct like this also comes out of the love and affection, but manifested in your feeling that now we are equally grown up. No, you should be just I'm doing good. You should also doing good. So this is the reaction. In actuality, no. Now, the more we think about the love that you have received from your mother, from our mothers, and particularly when you're a child, she is ready to just, with her the hands, with her tongue, just clean everything, whatever dirty things that you have, right? And then we will not dare to do that to your mother now, right? But she did it for us. If you think like this, it's a big sacrifice that she went through. So, the more we think about this, the more we see the mothers who are taking care of the children now. From there, you could go back in time when I was such a vulnerable child, when nobody knows that I was born, and my mother sees me as the most important treasure in the world. Right? And who is that? How can somebody see you as the greatest treasure of the world? Because she loves you so much. The love that she feels towards you is the greatest. And now, there's somebody, when you are just no one in this world, and then somebody is there to see you as the greatest treasure in the world. If this person does not love you, then who loves you? Right? With this, the more we think like this, then the affection that you have, which slowly, as we become more and more independent, which slowly went down, it will come to the surface, right? Okay, what happened was that it was in 2004 when I first started to teach the students from the Emory University from America. The students, they come for what they call study abroad program. Emory Study Abroad. No, Emory Study Abroad. I think so. Emory Study Abroad program. The students come to India, Dharamsala, for a whole one semester, for 3 months teachings, and then 2 months research. So I was teaching them. They requested me to teach philosophy to them. So I was teaching them. Then after 3 months, the students went for a short vacation holiday, and then they came back, started to do the research. After the research, students were all planning to leave for America. And the students, they come to see me, just very casually drop by in my room. And somebody came and said, Kishila, they would call me Genla. Genla means a very affectionate way of saying a teacher. Someone said, Kenla, you know that there's one girl, her name is what? Oh, I forgot. Okay, so that girl is, most of us, we are leaving around this time, but this girl is leaving 1 week in advance. And I said, why? And the student said that because her mother is going through a terminal illness, cancer. And then they told me about the very sour relationship between her and her mother. And then the next day, she came to see me and told me, Gana, I'm leaving 1 week in advance. And I said, why? She said, because of the mother's problem. And then she said, but I don't want to leave. I said, why? Because my relationship with my mother and dad is not really good. I said, what happened? Then she narrated the story that it's a very sour relationship between the daughter and the parents. Then there were two boys. They were from the same batch. There were two boys already who came there. And then I told her, just sit down in my room, she said. And then I told her that, okay, now you have already attended 3 months teaching on Buddhist philosophy. You've already learned about Bodhicitta. You've already learned about the emptiness, Bodhicitta, all these things. You've already learned. Now, it is now for us to think, don't expect love and affection from your parents. Now it's time for the parents to expect love and affection from you. Go back in time when you were so vulnerable, just like a piece of flesh. 1 week old, 3 weeks old, like in the mother's arm. Right? I don't know who your mother is. I don't know who your mother is. But from who you are now, I can see you. I know you are so well educated. I know that physically you are so fit and fine girl, right? From what I'm seeing now, I can infer that your mother has taken tremendous care of you when you were just a piece of flesh, just 1 week old, 2 weeks old. If she has not taken care of you in those days, even for a whole 1 day, by now you would be totally non-existent. Either some animals would have eaten you up, or you have died of some reasons. The fact that you are alive today is because of that. So now, when you needed the mother's love, the mother has given everything to you. Now they are becoming old. They need love from you. Now they have done their job. Now your job is left to be done. Then slowly she started to cry. And then she said, yes, Gana, I understand. Yes, and she started to cry. Then she said, I understand, that's true. I said, it's very good that you at least acknowledged this much. Now don't blame your parents. Don't blame them. If something is going wrong between this very healthy, young, educated, very physically strong girl and the mother, the blame should be going towards the child. Because the child, now it is time for the child to give love, the parents to expect love and affection from the child. Now that is not happening. That is not happening. Whereas if you are physically so fragile because of the negligence of mother or something like this, and then you are not educated because of the mother deprived you of education and so forth, then you are on the right side. Your mother is to be blamed, but it's not the case. You are so strong, low, very young, healthy girl with so well educated. There's a clear indication of what I could see of your young ages. And then she cried more and more. And finally, she couldn't control her tears. And then she said, yes, I agree with you, but even if I go there, my mother will not accept me. I said, if you admit this, if you admit that now my job is left to be done, my parents' side, they've already done the best thing for me. If you admit this much, then the job is done. It's very good. Then I said, in which case you don't have to hurry to go. What you do is that instead of going, you send an email to your mother, acknowledging all the mistakes as yours. Don't blame anything to the mother. And there's no harm in acknowledging mistakes upon you. Because now you see that you have realized that now it is your job to make her happy. It is your job to give love and affection towards the parents. And this you have not done. So with this, whatever the tension, whatever the discrepancies, whatever the conflicts between the parents and the child, was all because of my failure to give the love and affection towards the parents. I admit this, and I acknowledge the tremendous love and affection that I received from you when I needed your love and affection the most. So write something like this. And then she said it took her 3 days to write the one email to the parents. Finally, she succeeded to write and send it. And I think after the email sent, then in 2 days' time, she received an email, reply from the mother. And she came to see me again with tremendous joy, saying that now my mother has already accepted me. Because the mother loves you so much. The conflict is because of the clash in ideas. The mother wants everything good for you, and the mother thinks that this is the way by which she should be benefited. And then for you, it doesn't suit, right? It doesn't suit for any reason. It doesn't suit. And then you think that mother is unkind towards you, right? So, in actuality, the mother loves you so much. When you acknowledge these things, the mother will be so happy. Now my daughter has realized what I've done for her. Then she loves you even more, right? And then finally she left there. She left for America, and she was just the end of the mother's life was so beautiful. She nursed the mother, and the mother was accepting her, and she was accepting the mother, and the mother needed the love and affection and nursing, and then she was providing this assistance and giving love and affection. And finally, the thesis, the dissertation which she wrote as a part of the program, the semester program, she wrote a commentary on Aranagarjuna's chapter 1, chapter 1, and the dedication of the book. She wrote it so beautifully. She sent that to me. The daughter, amazing. This is what I'm saying. That we may have, say, mentally, maybe a little feeling uneasy and conflict and little sour feeling towards the parent. In actuality, it's not that you are bad. You have this beautiful seed of compassion, the seed of love that you once felt towards your mother. It was deep inside there. Only thing is that superficial differences, because you take your mother for granted. So this superficial difference is surface, and then that is seen as so significant, the salient feature of the relationship between you and mother. So that is not the truth. Deep inside, this love and affection is so much there. So when you actually try to just change your cognitive thinking, then this love and affection that you felt, the seed deep inside, that it will instantly surface. When it surfaces, all this that you should be correct, you should do like this, all these things become insignificant. Love and affection will take over everything. Then when say for example, if this rosary, say this mug should be on the saucer, and if the mother puts it on the other side, even this is so beautiful. Whereas when the love and affection does not surface, it is down there, it remains down there, then the moment your mother drinks the water and keep it there, this is so improper. Mother, how dare I kept it there? What is there? What is here? Whereas, say for example, imagine, say you are the mother, and your child, a daughter or son, whosoever, the child is terribly sick, and he or she does not have the energy at all, even to lift a mug. So you have to feed the child the food, right? Child may be age 10, 11, like this. And the child has been in this position, no physical movement for say whole 10 days. And mother is so worried. And for the first time, the child gains a little bit of energy, right? The mother put the child's milk on the saucer, right? And the child picked it up, drank it, and keep it there. And seeing that it is moved there, mother is so happy that, nobody could have put it there. It must be my child, my daughter, or my son. Now that she has gained enough energy, right? Does not say that it should be there. Hey, you are little okay, but you do not know where to keep the mug. No, the mother will not think like this. Mother will be so happy that, wow, who put it there? Right? Who put it there? How did you go there? Right? You did it. Yes, Mom. Amazing. You have enough energy. I'm so happy that you regained your energy, right? So you will not see this wrong thing. You will see the strength that your child has. So you love the strength the child has more than the accuracy that it should be. Right? Okay. So just think of this thing. This is how our mother felt towards us. Now, our time to give them the love and the mother, if she keeps, right? Instead of, no, not to this extent. This handle is towards your side, and she kept it like this. Even that is wrong. Again, I have to put it down to like this. You don't know how to keep it properly. Too much. Right? So if you think like this, then this girl, how she wrote the dedication was so beautiful. I read it. It's so beautiful. She wrote that. So by the time she wrote the dissertation, her mother passed away already. And she wrote the dedication so beautifully. Said that this book is dedicated to my mother. And then the next lines were as though like she's talking to the mother. She said that I'm so fortunate that you are my mother of this life. You are the most beautiful mother in this world. I will pray that forever two of us will go together till enlightenment. That I will never be separate from you. So beautiful dedication, so beautiful. So look, this is how much the girl started to feel the love and affection once more. The seed gets activated. And with this spirit, with this feeling in the daughter's mind, right? Just imagine how happy the mother is, how happily the mother passed away, right? With no tension, she passed away with so much happiness, which she could not believe. Otherwise, before the girl left for the program, right? Left for the program, she was expecting when she comes back again, she will create problem. She will again say nasty things towards me like this. This is what she was expecting. It was just magic, simply a turnover. It's just a total change. And how happy, how peacefully the mother passed away, imagine. Okay, so this is how we need to think of remembering the kindness of one's mothers, right? If you think like this, then the love and affection will surface. As the love and affection surfaces, you're closer towards Bodhicitta. The closer you are towards the Bodhicitta, the closer you are towards the first Gade, right? Closer you are towards the first Gade. Okay, this is so important. Number 2 is remembering the kindness of all your mothers. Number 2. So with this, you have to think of not only your mother of this life, but the neutral beings as your mothers in the former life, and the enemies as your mothers in your former lives. Right? Okay. Then in the practice, in the actual meditation, so that is, I would say that if you have like 1.5 hours, then you really spend at least like, say one day you practice sevenfold, this method, and the next day alternate between the 2 methods. Now when you're going to sit for 1-day retreat, or 2-day retreat, or 3-day retreat, then you have to really be relaxed. Relaxed meaning, say the mobiles, all these things just cut off, right? Only if there is some urgent calls you're expecting, you connect to someone else, you do something, right? If you don't know how to do that, there are so many IT people here. You learn from them. When I may be able to provide help, and how many other IT people are here? Okay, so you try to check with the IT people and how to block the others, and have only one, right? Coming from whoever, the person who is sensitive to what you're doing. Okay, so this during the actual practice, then as you think about the kindness more and more, then in the practice you feel like crying. And in the practice, when you feel like crying, right? Of course, it is odd when people are around you. So make sure that you are by yourself. And then, even if you like to cry, cry, right? The more you cry, that activates the seed so much. That activates the seed of compassion so much, seed of love and affection so much. Even if you cry, cry. And then there are times that in the Tibetan, some of the stanzas, we sing in tune, which has this very powerful wordings from the Guru Puja. From the Guru Puja, the practice of the Bodhicitta part in the Guru Puja by Lama Chopa. So there, there's a particular tune. Then you take time to reflect. Just the orally, you just literally you sing. You sing with the tune very slowly. Take your time, sing, and meanwhile let your emotions flow with these words, and then you become so teary, you just feel like crying. It's fine, you take your time, right? So there, the seed is constantly being activated. So that is that is all purpose. When the tears come, what is happening is the compassion and seed of love and affection that is being activated, and this is a very beautiful state of mind. The love and affection that you feel with the mother and the child. This love and affection is so beautiful, amazingly beautiful. When that's get activated, it's so beautiful. In fact, there's no other beautiful mind than this, the feeling of love and affection. So when that becomes of an intense version, then it can manifest. Intense version, how? By becoming deeper and becoming more expansive. When it's the most expansive? When it turns to Bodhicitta. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. It becomes so expansive and becomes very profound by knowing that it is only through achieving these three qualities, perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power, that I can really benefit all my dear sentient beings. So full of wisdom and very expansive love. So the depth and the vastness, with both things intact, then the intensity of the love and affection that you feel towards beings, that is the most beautiful thing that can possibly exist in this universe. Most beautiful thing. Literally the most. Even sometimes when I see the beautiful flowers, I get so captivated. But that experience of the appeal is nothing as compared to the feeling, a tinge of a bodhicitta feeling, that is so beautiful, amazingly beautiful. Okay, if this is something, even the terrorist, by magic, suddenly the terrorist, when he's about to destroy so many lives, suddenly if just a tinge of bodhicitta the terrorist feels, he will instantly quit all this job and he will release everyone. He will become one of the victims because other terrorists will be after him, knowing that he's releasing all these people, right? This is so beautiful, right? Okay, this is what we need to cultivate. In fact, one time, my brother and the girl, the nephew and the niece, two of them, they were very young then. The niece was, I think, 4 or 5 years. No, 5. I think 6. 5 or 6. And the nephew was about like maybe 9 years. And then me and my brother, two of us, in fact, this girl she wants to ask me all forms of questions, this same girl. She was one who said that, "Uncle, you look like a girl." She was one. So recently she was again asked me, "Uncle, when you were younger, like our age, did you fight with my father?" And yes, of course, I fought. We were fighting over small things. When we were young, we were always together. We fight, we are friends, we fight, we are friends. So yes. And he said, "I can't believe you fight with my father." This was what she said. Okay, so once when she was very young and her brother also very young, two of them. So because my relationship with my brother is like very close, very, very close friends. And then when he was so for something, I just said that, oh, brother, you should have done it like this. I did not scold, I did not fire, nothing. It's just nothing. I just said, brother, you should have done it like this. And the two young children, I just see the drama there. It's a real drama. I couldn't believe my eyes. This young girl hearing this uncle saying something to my father, she was so hurt. Then she slowly moved towards the father. She climbed on the father's lap and hugged the father from the front. And the son, he went behind the father, hugged the father from behind. What did I do? What did I do? I should not do it again. I should not do it again. It simply pierced my heart. Oh no, I should not do it again. Although the same, the mother and the child, the father and the children, whatever mistakes somebody has in front of the children, okay, just close your mouth. Don't say anything. This dynamic of the love and affection between parents and children is so tender, is so intense, because when the pain is felt, so piercing pain, the children feels. Then I decided not to say anything to my brother, even if he does something very odd or weird. So in front of the children, no. So this is the love and affection that, look, we all felt like this. And then one time on a bus, I think that scenario was when I was aged maybe like 9 or 10. These anecdotes are so useful for our practice. In fact, I use all these things. We should be as creative to enrich our practice. On the bus, those days, I think early 80s. Okay, Andrew was not born. Right? Then for sure, Sawi is not born. Right? And who else? Christian born? Not born? Early 1980s, not born. Okay. Or you already there as a very old guy about to die. Right? You know, or an old lady or an old girl, old gentleman about to right? Okay. So then I was in the bus. Everything so crude, Okay, so I got on the bus. And I was sitting on the seat. And just in front of me, there was a gentleman who was a worker, who was a laborer, and the shirt, everything just torn apart into pieces, and very skinny. And his son was sitting next to him, just standing. My father was sitting. And there were three masculine young boys at the back, the rear side. And then the bus started. Then this gentleman, the worker, he started to light the cigarette. He started to light the cigarette, and he took the first puff. And when about to take the second puff, those three boys from the behind, they shouted at him, "No smoking!" And then, what did he do? He could not. He did not know what to do now. To throw this. If throw this, his son is going to get a very, very sad feeling that my father is being bullied by throwing them, so that my father had to throw this. And if he takes it again, they will shout more. They may perhaps beat him, right? So he could not do anything. He got stuck like this. And everything again became silent. Again, he tried to take the next puff. Then they said that we will throw you out if you take the next puff. We will throw you out. It was nothing to do with me, but even I became so angry towards these three people. Right? This is not how you treat someone. Someone is not because that you are physically younger and with more muscle. Doesn't mean that you have to bully someone like this. There's a gentle way of saying. You can make a proper request. It is not a way. And I was maybe age 9 or 10. I became so upset. And I felt tremendous empathy to this gentleman. And then what happened? And still he could not do what to do with this. He did not know what to do with this. Sit like this. Then the son, he took the cigarette from the father's hand and he extinguished the fire. Seeing this, it made me even more sad to see that what a pain the son was going through. Why otherwise usually the son would never dare to do this from the father. Today he's doing it to protect the father. He knew that if the father did it the next time, again, then they're surely going to beat the father up. So to protect the father, he did. He was such a young boy, age 6, 7. So when you see like this, so look, there are so many such anecdotes. All these anecdotes tell us that when we were young, we feel the same intense love and affection towards our parents. Now as we grow older, age 16, 20, 30 like this, then we tend to this because we become a little independent, right? Then self-sufficient, then all these, it's not that they disappear. They are there. They just go into the down. And then superficially, whatever differences surface. Okay, when you think of we bring these experiences more, then you'll see that we survive only on love and affection. And the greatest love and affection that we received was when we were very young. And from whom? From a mother and from a father, particularly from a mother. If you think more like this, then we extend this to the mother of this life, the mother of the former life, in the form of neutral being today, in the form of enemy today, and so forth. This is how we should be doing. Okay. So this is recording the kindness of all things. Okay, what is next? Repaying the kindness. Tinso, repaying the kindness. Okay. So here what we should be doing is that the more we think about the love and affection that you received from your parents, the more we think of, the more that becomes lively in our mind, more alive in our mind, then wanting to repay the kindness, it becomes very strong. So here, during this step, third step, we have to just make it like, say, push yourself to say that, yes, I will take the responsibility. Yes, I will take the responsibility. I will repay the kindness of all my mothers. I will repay the kindness of all my mothers of this life, mothers of the former life, and so forth. So this is a commitment that you have to make. Again, there was many years ago, on a television, the BBC program. The BBC interviewed one very young Chinese girl. I think she was aged like 4 or 5. It was very touching. She was interviewed, and she at such a tender age, she could articulate things so well. Her parents kept her with her grandparents in the village. And the parents, because the very poor condition, the parents left for the city. And the grandparents, they could not raise the child. They could not look after themselves. So they became so desperate, and they sent her to an orphanage. Actually, she's not an orphan, but she was sent to the orphanage, and the orphanage, they accepted her. And she was always thinking about her two parents. And the BBC interviewed her. Why did you end up in an orphanage? You are not orphan. And she said that my parents are so poor. And they have no way by which to feed me. So my parents, they left for the city to look for more foods for me. And then this girl was crying, literally crying. Still she is talking so nicely. She's crying, just age 4, 5, she's crying. And then she said that At the moment, I'm going to school and I'm going to study well. I'm going to get a good job, and I will earn lots of money. And with the money, I will give house to my parents. I will give food to my parents, and I will not let them work. I will give everything to my parents. And she's crying herself. Amazing, right? So this is this young girl wanting to repay the kindness of the parents. Young girl want to repay the kindness of the parents. This is so strong. Okay, so this is what this is the spirit that we should have when we reach the third step. That yes, I will repay the kindness of all my mothers. I will repay the kindness of all my mothers, this life, of the former life, and so forth. This is how we should make a very strong commitment. Okay, what is next? Seeing them in the light of great affection. Yong Chamba. Seeing all the beings in the light of great affection. So, okay, how do you see someone? If you come to realize that this person genuinely loves you so much, how do you see this person? The moment you see the person, your face glows, your face lights up. Right? You agree with me? Okay. So the first Bodhicitta retreat we were conducting in one Hindu ashram, a Punyasthala close by Bangalore. When we conducted the retreat there were about, I think, total 17 participants, and one participant from Mumbai, the gentleman. So when I was talking about this, step number 4. Step number 4, seeing all beings in the light of the great effect. When I explained this, then he said, I think his name is Rajiv. He said, Geshe-la, can I interrupt you here? Then I said, yes. What you are saying, there's one expression. He said, then I said, yes, please, please tell us. Then he said, in this world, there is only one most beautiful baby in this world. There is only one most beautiful baby in this world, and all mothers have it. Do you understand it? There is only one most beautiful baby on this earth, and all mothers have it. All mothers see their baby as the most beautiful one. Right? The mother could easily identify her baby from hundreds of babies there. Easily she can identify it. Right? Okay. So this, in fact, I realized that this actually happened to me also. Same during when I was age, I lost my mother at age 5, then age 6, 7, 8, we were all with our father, but most of the time we were in the school, just in school, like this girl in the orphanage, in the school. And the father, he was also going through his own difficulties. And so we were all just waiting to see, craving just to have a glimpse of the father's face like this. And whenever I saw my father, he's so beautiful, so smart. Right? In fact, more handsome than the Richard Gere. Yeah. Richard Gere. I don't know why people see him as so... My father, why don't people see my father as so smart? Right? People go after Richard Gere, why? Right? He's so smart. Look, wow, amazing. Then, one day, my aunt, who was a distant relative of my mother, and she's so kind to me, the aunt, so kind, and so matured in thinking. One day, I was in her house, and then she was recalling and sharing with me my family's history, about my family's the situation back before I was born, the relation, say my mother, my father, my father's family. She was sharing, and she said that, Dorji, you know that your father has total, including your father, 7 siblings. That I know. And then she said, of the seven siblings, your father is the ugliest. I could not believe this. What is she saying? Literally, I was seeing my father so handsome, amazingly handsome. Now she is saying that he's the ugliest. And I know my uncle, I know my auntie, all these things, they are so ugly. They are not at all appealing. My father is very different. And she's saying that my father is ugly. I couldn't believe that. Then later on, when I joined the monastery, then started to learn this, Marshe, Tintin, Tinso, Yong Chamba, seeing beings in the light of great affection. When you love someone so much, the person starts to glow in your eyes. So then I realized she was true. My father's not as handsome as I thought. Okay. So this is Yong Chamba, right? Now here what we should be doing is that in our practice, okay, now you should invoke the love and affection towards all sentient beings in this, the step 1, 2, 3. Now you start to feel so close to all beings, the mother of this love, the mother of this life, no doubt, the mother of the former lives, all the neutral people, mother of the former lives, all the, what we call as the enemies now. Then when you see the love and affection from them, just like this girl, just like this American girl who initially saw the mother as the enemy, the demoness. Now, when the cognitive thinking, when the thought process was changed, suddenly the tremendous feeling of love and affection they came to her, towards the mother. So likewise, what we see as the enemy now, is not enemy anymore now. Then your mind start to flow towards them, and to see them as a very, in the light of great affection, so beautiful, glowing. This is how we have to imagine that now. Look, my mind simply flows. My mind flows out of love and affection towards everyone around. My near and dear, the ones, including my mother of this life, the neutral beings, the animals, to all it flows. Just we have to abide in this experience and let this feeling of the affinity flow even more. And imagine that you look at each of the sentient beings' face, right? Face, and reassuring that yes, you are the one I know. I love you so much. You are my mother. You have been so kind to me. Yes, you are so just. There's such a glow in you. This is how I'm seeing you. Just seeing at the eyes of all sentient beings, one after the one by one. Say your near and dear ones, the neutral beings, the enemies. So this will slowly change your perception. Then later when you go, the more stronger this meditation, when you go out, when you see even the tiny insects, like cockroaches and so forth, you feel so affectionate. You just wish that you literally try to see them, you start to see them as your mother, right? And then you just feel like, what can I do for you? You say some prayers, and then even the gesture is very different. Otherwise, the cockroach, yes, I should not harm them, but how you remove it, and now how you remove is very different. How you remove it, for example, say a small child, and how you take, very fast like this, and the child very tenderly taking is very different. With the second, it simply reflects your love and affection, how the mother takes. Very different. So this is how we will slowly change our attitude, change our day-to-day, say the thinking and so forth, and even your peace of mind will be restored. It's amazing. Okay, so this is Yon Chamba. Then what is next? Great compassion, Yingje Chembo, great compassion. Okay, so here now that this is all cumulative. This is all cumulative. It's not that you jump your step. I know all these steps, right? Then I do this step. No, it's very cumulative. It's simply to invoke the experience. As you think about these things, cognitively, when you think about these things, then the feelings are being activated, right? The first step will activate something. Second step will activate more. Third step even more. Fourth step more. Then finally, you reach the stage, Yong Chamba means, now you see everyone in the light of great affection. They seem to really glow in your eyes. You could see them so beautiful, amazing. This is all because of love and affection, not because of the physical beauty. It's all because of love and affection. When you reach to that extent, then when you hear about the plight of the beings, that the beings to whom you love so much, they are suffering, right? Suffering, then what is your reaction? When you love somebody so much, and then suddenly when you hear that this person to whom you love so much is hospitalized, suddenly, without your knowledge, if you heard this news, what is your reaction? Huh? What is your reaction? You'll rush. Rush, what is mental, the response? Huh? Worried? Worried in what way? May the pain go away. May the pain go away. What can I do to remove the pain? May the pain go away. Compassion. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering. When you see the suffering, right? Okay, I could remember, say, my sharing was that I was in school, as I said earlier, my meeting with my father was so less because he was busy, he was struggling with his own living. Almost, they say, just being refugee in India, and then, say, the plight was just miserable. He was struggling. And then we were all in the school. And the three children, and me, the youngest, always just ruminating, being reminiscent over the time with the father. Once in a while in the bed, then very spontaneously being reminiscent of the mother, reminiscent mother, and then tears rolling down, and with the father, just ruminating and reminiscence, both were happening. And then one time what happened was that there were some elder children, they were talking among themselves. And one girl, maybe like 2 or 3 years older than us, and so when you are very young, 2 years older is seen as much older. Then she was talking to another girl, and then I overheard that. She was saying that, oh, there was one man in Forsigan. Forsigan one is the place where my father was living. Forsigan, and his wife means my stepmother then. His wife came to the TCV school hospital. Seems like the husband was sick, and from all the discussions that this girl was giving was exactly my father. And no control. This young boy could not do anything, cannot even cross the border, school border. The moment you cross the border, blacklist. You cannot do anything. And then nothing to do. And automatically the tears simply roll down. Automatically. The hearing this, now is no one other than my father. Automatically tears roll down. Okay, why this tear roll down? Because of the pain that this young boy felt. Why this pain? Because knowing that the person to whom this boy loves so much is in pain, is sick. You're getting it? So when you feel that the person to whom you love so much, when you see that the person is in pain, then automatically the desire, may you be freed from the suffering, automatically arises. That mindset is known as great compassion. May you be freed from suffering. That is compassion, great compassion. So now, when we see all beings as to whom you love so much, and then you actually, what is applied to all the beings? Self-centered attitude, self-grasping, there is sickness, aging, death, all these horrors of the life going. Just read the magazine, read the newspaper, horrors. Read the newspaper, horrors all the time. And who are these beings who are going through these horrors? My very affectionate mothers to whom I love so much, the mothers of my former lives, they are all going through horrors. Then you feel so pain. May you be freed from suffering. That is great compassion. What is next? Altruism, the next question. So thus far, what is the step? You wish that may you all be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The next question, who will do it? Who will remove the suffering for all your dear mothers? Who will do this? Who will take this responsibility? Right? Okay, that's true. Right? For example, let's say that say the mother and the child is terribly sick, and the mother, okay, the mother will tell do you think the mother will tell the husband? Or mother will tell the other neighbors, okay, I'm a little busy, I'm yet to finish watching my movie, right? Please take care of my baby to the hospital. Do you think the mother will say like this? Or do you think the mother will say that, oh, I have some important thing to do in the bank, right? I have to do a bank transfer, otherwise to this the deadline. Do you think the mother will say like this? No. Any urgent work the mother has, she will just leave without hesitation. She will jump. She will say, I will do it. This is altruism. Who will do it? I will do it. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I will do it. That is altruism. Right? And so here you have to verbally say this. When you verbally say this, your mind is activated. I will take the responsibility. When you verbally say this, your mind is activated. Altruism is activated, right? Activated. You have to say this. You have to say this. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are free from suffering and the cause of suffering. Just say this. Say this. And what made you say this? What dictates you to say this? Your thought processes make you to say this. Your thought process is constantly activated, right? So these are the skills. These are the tips, the skills, skillful means. Okay, now I'm going to take the responsibility to free all the mother beings from the suffering and the cause of suffering. What is the next question? How are you going to do this? This next question. How are you going to do this? Okay, that's very true. That's very true. How am I going to do this? This next question. Okay, now is there anyone who was able to do this? Then you go back in the history of the humanity. When you go back in time, you see that 2,500 years ago, once there was a young prince, Prince Siddhartha, who just seeing all the miseries of the sentient beings, he started to look for the solution. So as said by Acharya Dignaga, as said by Acharya Dignaga in the praise, where is it? Page 3. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide. Initially he was like ordinary being like us, and then he transformed into such a reliable guide to guide all the dear mother sentient beings. Initially he was motivated by altruism, and then what did he do? He went in search of the solution. He found the solution. What is the solution? The wisdom of emptiness. So for which he has to become the teacher of the wisdom of emptiness. Then what did he do? He experimented the wisdom of emptiness on himself to see whether it works. Then he found the result, that he became the Sugata, the one who experienced the bliss of freedom from suffering. So with this experience, then he went to protect the sentient beings by giving the teaching on the wisdom of emptiness. So, this enlightened Prince Siddhartha, this young prince, he succeeded in the history of humanity. He succeeded. Okay, I will also become one like him, because he being endowed with these three perfect qualities. Perfect qualities. What are they? Perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. He being endowed with these three perfect qualities, he is in a position to benefit all sentient beings, help all sentient beings. So I will also become one like him. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. So this commitment, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, this is Bodhicitta, right? Okay, this is how we should be practicing, and it's so beautiful. If you practice it, ones to whom you feel so averse and so unhappy, so averse, irritated, If you keep doing this practice, keep doing this, it'll take some years. It's not easy. It'll take some years. Then slowly this mentality will shift. And it's a very slow process. It'll change. And then at one point where nobody loves that person, including yourself earlier, now you are there to defend this person as though like this person has been so kind to you in this very life. And that's not true. So it's all because of the practice that this can actually happen. Then you start feeling compassion to other beings. Then at one point, you start to feel yourself like a mother, and all other sentient beings, they are like small children who are suffering, right? And then they behave so. Children, how can you expect the children to behave so nicely, right? So likewise, all others, the fact that although physically they are so already grown up, age 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, still they are children. Because how they behave, look, corruption, all these, the what? Simply to abuse others, to create the problems in the community, which means that it is like a very young, restless child, right? Imagine this nasty person, if this person is so mature with the Bodhicitta, 100% the person will not behave like this. The person will surely receive the Nobel Peace Prize. 100% the person will not behave like this. The fact that this person, that element is missing, that element, maturity is missing, right? When somebody behaves in a nasty way, which means the person is a childish. The person is not matured. So it's like a small child. And yet, we are not being judgmental of the person. Instead, we embrace everyone, right? Just imagine a mother and two children. Mother and two children, right? Say mother and 5 children. And of the 5, eldest one, right? Eldest one is so competent, and then they were all now like age, say 20, 19, 18, around that age. And the eldest one is so competent, very bright, and very mature, very compassionate, very skilled, and everybody loves the eldest child, right? Everybody loves the eldest child. Everybody respects the eldest one, and the youngest one, education-wise, so dull, and the mischief-wise, the supreme, so mischievous, and so lazy, right? Just always end up in fighting, end up in prison, right? The youngest one. Nobody loves the child. Everybody, wherever the mother goes, right? The mother hears about the eldest child, everybody praises. The mother hears about the youngest child, everybody denounces the child. Just feels so the repulsion to the child. Tell me. And the mother loves all the children so much. Now, if you are a very sensible mother, right? Who among the 5 children you will love the most now at this stage? Tell me. The youngest one. Because you love all of them equally. Love means you have to take care. And who really deserves to be taken care of by you? The youngest one. Eldest one, everybody loves him. Everybody takes care of him, right? And others are okay. And this youngest one, everybody dumps him into the garbage, right? So he's the one the mother should reach out to protect. So the mother will love this child the most, right? Okay. So with this we see that how when we reach to this level of the practice, then we start to see everyone, all the sentient beings like small children, and you like a very mature mother. And then when you do see the nasty people, okay, don't say, oh no, you're not nasty, you're nice, everyone is nice. No, you have to see the reality as reality. You have to see the reality as reality. This is not the meaning of being judgmental. Judgmental means you try to see the reality, and on that basis, you try to be nasty toward this person. That is the judgmental. Whereas, you have to see the reality as reality. The bad is bad, good is good. And yet, on that basis, Aversion, attachment should not arise. Embrace everyone equally. Like the mother, if the mother says, "Oh, all my children are so nice, so nice, so nice," then one child is behaving so badly in the school and not going to school, bunking the school, right, bunking the class. And still the mother says, "Oh no, my child is so good, like this." One day the child will end up in prison. Then the mother is too late. Mother is to know that the child is bunking the classes, and that he should be able to rectify that if the mother really loves the child. Know what is the reality well, and then on that basis, you should not have the sense of aversion. Instead, embrace and to see how to rectify that. That is so important. That is so important. Okay, so this is the practice, the sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta, right? Okay. Okay, with this, we finish the bodhicitta part, and then if there are the appendages or additional things to be covered, we will do that tomorrow. Or otherwise, we'll start. We will just as auspicious indication. We will start the precious garland tomorrow afternoon, right? Okay. And we can't expect to finish precious garland. It doesn't matter. Precious garland, anyways, the original plan was just chapter 1, right? Chapter 1. Okay, let's see. Yeah.
Kushila, on the first step, remembering all beings as one's mother. Can you share who are the beings without mother?
Say it again.
Who are the beings without mother?
Without mother?
Yes. Because, I talk about the three worlds. The three worlds.
Three worlds, yes.
Correct. So,
yes.
The form and formless, do they have mothers?
Okay. So the question is, the beings, is it that everyone should necessarily have the mother all the time? This is not necessary. Say, in the desire realm, say, devas and devis, celestial beings, within the desire realm, god and goddesses, within the desire realm, the concept of the mother is there, but it's not the way the human beings conceive the children, right? It is more like a very spontaneous birth, and then on that basis, then form and formless, there's no mother concept. There's a mother. No, it's not that the form. Of course, for the formless, there's no formless. It is truly formless, right? So, in fact, if somebody has a samadhi to take birth in formless realm in this life, then you die. Where you die, you take the formless. You take birth as a formless being in that very place. You don't have to go somewhere. So this is formless. Then for the forms, even for the forms, it's not conceived from the mother. It's just a spontaneous birth. Yeah, in the form. So now when you speak about all beings as having been one's mother, means that everyone had taken birth in the desire realm innumerable times, and you also had taken birth in desire realm innumerable times. So in those times, and they have been your mothers not only once, innumerable times, because the time span we speak about, the beginningless time, from there to here is just infinite, right?
So does that include hell realms as well?
Hell realm, yes. Hell realm, I think it is spontaneous birth. Hell realm, yes. Then hungry ghosts, I'm not too sure. The animals, the most are the conceived. Eggs, and then the insects, they fall under the category of the animals. They are from the moisture, heat and moisture, birth. Yeah. And hungry ghosts, hungry ghost, think of like this. Hungry ghost, think of like this. Say for example, the hungry ghost, there are so many kinds. It's not that when you speak of hungry ghost, it's just one kind. No, there are so many kinds. Some have conceived and some miracle birth. All kinds are there. So we just need to make things very easy for us. So hungry ghost, we put everything together, right? Let's say okay, you're a human being. Okay, all human beings. Within human beings we fight, right? The divisions are there. This caste, okay, this creed, this nation, there are so many divisions there, right? Okay, some birth from cesarean, some birth from what? Natural. And some, okay, so even within the human being, we see that there's so many different kinds of birth, right? Okay, so likewise, the hungry ghost is even more weird. Weird meaning even more the divisions, because this falls under the category of the more the spirit form. Yeah. Yes, over there.
Yes.
Yes, working.
Visualize the.
Okay, the battery must be running down now. Yeah.
When we visualize, do we visualize emptiness?
Bodhicitta, no need.
And merit field, there's no need for
no
that.
No need. Bodhicitta, very straightforward, right? Very straightforward. And if you have the little experience of emptiness, that would be very helpful, particularly when we think about the great compassion, how the beings are suffering, particularly because of not seeing emptiness, because being under the sway, consumed, sucked up by the self-grasping ignorance into this dream, nightmarish dream, right? So the depth of the suffering can be seen if you have little experience of emptiness. So that would be very helpful to invigorate bodhicitta.
Sheila, this sevenfold cause and effect, and the other one is equalizing and changing one another, and the other one is combining the two.
Synthesized version. Yes.
Do you actually advise us to do alternate, like seven?
Okay, sevenfold one, the method equalizing and exchanging one, and then the synthesized version, or always the synthesized version, right? Okay, this question. So basically, what I would suggest is that do them separately. Initially, do them separately. Sevenfold cause effect today, and if you have time, you do both in the same day. If you don't have time, sevenfold cause effect today, and the equalizing exchanging the next day, right? Keep doing the two things alternately, right? Okay. Then on the weekends, if you feel a little energetic, then you can do the number one, number two, and then synthesized version, right? Synthesized version has 13 steps, right? Synthesized version is very easy. Okay, synthesized version is, okay, how we go about doing that is, okay, synthesized version we will mention this tomorrow. It's very easy. It's just a matter of, you want to do it now? Okay, say the first one is equanimity. Okay, it's pretty easy. Equanimity, remembering all beings as one's mothers, and remembering the kindness. Okay, then next is remember the kindness, and then repaying the kindness. Okay, repay the kindness, and then go to the 9 steps. All the 9 steps of the equalizing exchange itself, right? 9 plus the first equanimity, remember one's kindness, and remember all beings one's mothers, and the kindness, repaying the kindness. 9 plus 4 is 13. The first the equanimity, and the first 3 from the sevenfold cause effect. Total 4. 4 from the the sevenfold cause effect. 4 meaning including the preliminary. Including the preliminary, the first 4 including the preliminary from this sevenfold cause effect, and all the 9 from the equalizing and exchanging method. So 9 plus 4 is 13. So these are 13 steps. And then some teachers may teach you 12 steps. Oh no, you are wrong. We learn from Jambi is 13. Don't fight. Right? It's not really it's just fine. It's much more the same. Right? Okay. So 13 steps. Finally the thing is that we have to practice. After learning that we are suffering from tuberculosis, and then after knowing that the medicines, the rifampicin, isoniazid, and ethambutol, these medicines are good for you. And learning all these things, then you get the prescription, give the prescription on the table. It will never help us. Finally, with the prescription, you have to go to get the medicine from the pharmacy, and then start to take the dose. Only then the effect will be felt, right? So these things, and so and incorporating your personal stories, your personal experiences, incorporating them in your practice, that will be very powerful. And finally, it is for your own benefit, whether you do it or not. It is for your own benefit. You see that your mind is much more at peace. You can deal with things so easily. You can address differences so easily for your own benefit. And then you will not be easily agitated. The hyper, right? Easily become so impulsive. All this will stop. You become very calm, gentle, very calm and so effective. Not very calm and slow and lazy. Very calm and very effective. Very effective. While effective, no hyper. Right? Impulsive and hyper, no. They're all calm down because of this. Just for you, this is healing. You don't need to go to hospital, all right? To remove, I'm a little hyper, how to remove it? Please give me medicine, the psychiatrist. No, just practice Bodhicitta. Your hyper will go away and you become very sensible and everybody will start loving you, right? The whole environment will change. Yeah, this is such a precious, the dose to be taken every day. Yes.
Geshe-la, can I check with you for the 4 immeasurable and 8 thought transformation? These 2, do we do it every day?
Okay. Now the question is, there are so many practices. 8 versus mind training. Then what did you say? 4 immeasurables. Then 4 immeasurables in 6 session Guru Yoga after is receiving HYT. And then say, my teacher said that there's this Jorche, which means one practice, which considers all the Lamrim. Then I received one teaching from my another guru who taught me Lamrim. I include that. And then you literally don't have time for practice. So you're busy reading. So what we do is make the practice. Finally, with all these things, 8 versus mind training, then the 4 immeasurables, and the 4 immeasurables in the HYT, and 4 immeasurables in this book, right? Again, the slices different, and 4 immeasurables in the Guru Yoga of the Shirikala Chakra. This also slightly different, right? No time for practice. Finally, whether you do Shirikana Chakra, whether you do Deshavivati, whether you do this, and with the commitments, that is exception. With the commitments, I have no say. You have to do it. The commitments, meaning that it is good, for example, by attending this 11-day Jambi retreat. 11-day Jambi retreat, there is no commitment. What is the commitment? The aspiration Bodhisattva vow, the commitment that we have is, I will do my best. To the best I can, I will help others. I'll be kind towards others. If not, at least I will not harm others. This is the commitment. right? For this, I didn't give you any reading, right? Okay. So what I'm saying, the commitments that you receive, particularly the commitments associated with the, mostly associated with the HYT. So these, there's no compromise. No compromise. These don't come to me. Right? People often, first they are so excited, oh Shri Kala Chakra, shall I go there? Then I would say that, okay, okay, like this, right? Okay, like this. Okay. Indicating that you have to think very seriously. But the person says, no, Geshe-la, tell me, tell me. So he or she wants to hear that, go. This is what he or she wants to hear. Not that, okay, you stay back. This is what he or she doesn't want to hear. Right? And then I'll say, okay, if you want to go there and receive the form of blessings. And then everybody, oh, this is the last chance. This is the last chance. We are not going to get this chance again. His Holiness, it is the 30-something. This is the last one. People say it's the last. So it's so auspicious, right? Jump there. And then, succession Guru Sadhana, right? Oh, it's too long. I don't have time to read this. Right? Geshe-la, it's taking so much time. What should I do? Right? So he wants me to tell that don't read this sadhana. This is what they want to hear. This I cannot do anything. This is a commitment with your Guru. Right? I can't say anything. So with others, like for example, oh, I went to Jambi. From there, I started to read all these books from the page 1 through to page 40-something. And then another guru with the Lamdim practice. I've been doing all the Lamdim thing. And then another guru from this, the 8 verses. And from other guru with the Jorche and all these things. Okay, right? So if this is the case, then we can do something. We can do something. If it is not a commitment, then I say, all those things more into the, more of the four immeasurables. Many of them have the four immeasurables everywhere. So all these you combine and you club them to one. One will suffice. One will suffice. The rest you don't have to do. And then for the actual Bodhicitta, Vajra Moon would be so good. So other things you can skip. And to say Vajra Moon, you can do it in a very concise, short form. And if you have, say, like the weekends, whole 1 day free, whole 2 days free, like this, and long weekends, and then you can, if you're doing the Lama Choba, Guru Puja, Guru Yoga practice, the long one, from there you can extract particularly the Bodhicitta part, you can extract from there, and you do the Vajra Moon by including these stanzas to make this Vajra Moon practice more strong. Right? And finally, the point is that we must have some time to practice single-pointed meditation, shamatha practice. We have to do some practice, at least like, say, 5-10 minutes. And this is such a precious opportunity for us. Shamatha practice, something we must do, whether breathing meditation, whether observing the mind meditation. If you're very busy, who's complaining about I don't have time, this person cannot do it all for the time being. Until you have more relaxed time, until that time, don't expect that. Either do the breathing meditation, best is breathing. This is very easy for you, it's very practical, very realistic, and or you can do the Buddha image, the meditation, shamatha, on the basis of the Buddha image. So you can do these two things, right? And then the renunciation part, the 4 seals, and Bodhicitta, and the wisdom emptiness. At least you must have a dose of these 4 things. At least we must have a dose of these 4 things a day, right? Otherwise, okay, I'd like to share with you a small anecdote, and then what is time for? Tea, right? And group discussion. Okay. Yes. Yes.
I'm just wondering about the step number 5, great compassion. How do we distinguish great compassion from sadness? I think sadness is an affliction. So I just want to know, because when we feel a lot when we do this and feel a lot, there will sadness can arise.
Come in.
And sadness, I think, is not something to be cultivated. Well, whereas great compassion is something we should cultivate. So how to distinguish these two?
Okay,
Yeah.
compassion versus the sadness. Very good question. In fact, sadness per se is not affliction. Affliction is a causal state. Afflictions are causal states. Even fear is not affliction. Even fear is not affliction. Keep this in mind. Afflictions are the causal factors. Causal, right? Which triggers contaminant karmas. And contaminant karmas give rise to fear, give rise to sadness. Right? Sadness and the fear and so forth, they are in the form of the resultant state which we don't want. Right? And afflictions, overall speaking, how do we know one is the causal, one is the resultant? Even the results are also causes, the cause also results, but the distinction that we're making here in the form of the sadness is not affliction, causal, more not from the causal state, more from the causal side, is from the resultant side. How do we distinguish this? Same, when we are angry, right? Is it that nobody wants anger? Tell me. Nobody wants anger? Not true. When somebody is angry, the person even tends to deliberately try to be more angry, right? And some people, since that they know that they are a little soft, in order to want to become angry, they deliberately drink alcohol, right? They drink alcohol, they lose the sanity, then they become so aggressive, right? Some people do that. Okay, so anger, people voluntarily take it, thinking that this is something which I should do. Likewise, attachment, people voluntarily do it, right? So afflictions, they are something which people deliberately do. Not all. Only when somebody knows that this is poison, then they refrain. Otherwise, natural tendency, human instinct or the natural tendency is to take pride in engaging in these afflictions, attachment, anger, jealousy, competition, and so forth. Whereas sadness, who wants sadness? Okay, today I'll be so happy, right? Today I'll go to the hospital, I'll be so sad. Who wants sadness? No one. So that is a resultant state. Nobody wants. Fear, who wants to have fear? Nobody wants, right? We do not need any philosophy, study this study of the teachings so forth in order to tell you that fear is something that you must get rid of. And the sadness is something that everybody knows that these two are something which we have to get rid of. But afflictions are something which people can take pride in. This is the distinction. One is the resultant and the other is the causal factor. Causal to drive negative karmas. Right? Okay. Yes, Rosalind?
Gajila, just now you're mentioning that if we will practice bodhicitta, the resultant, let's say in this life, that we are more gentle, we are more soft, we will be happier. So it's benefiting ourselves.
Yes.
But in this bodhicitta, actually I got a very funny thought because it said, may I become a Buddha. Yeah, Sakyamuni Buddha already 2,500 years. The next Buddha will be Maitreya Buddha. And there's so many Rinpoche are so compassionate. There are so much of bodhicitta. Who am I to become a Buddha? Even one day I become a Buddha, how can I help? So whether these statements of may I become a Buddha for the benefit is really is really like something for us to cultivate, or really I want to become a Buddha?
Okay. I'm not too sure whether I got it. John, did you get the question? Or anyone else? Right? Okay. I think there are a number of pieces there. Number of pieces in this question. One is, because there are already so many Buddhas, right? So should I really become a Buddha? But there are so many Buddhas. They will do. So why should I be so worried about it? Or one?
No, because...
No. This is not then what?
No, because to me, this statement is more like just saying.
Okay. Why just saying? Why?
to become a, okay, that's why I say, like Shakyamuni Buddha is already 2,500
2,500 years finished.
Yeah, the next Buddha will be Machiya Buddha.
Yeah.
And then there's
There are so many other
compassionate-
Buddhas.
Yes,
Yeah.
they will become Buddha before me. In another word, yeah. So it's such a long
Process.
Yeah, correct. Which
Long
I
process.
cannot see at all.
Okay.
But from what just now, the last part whereby you say that if you practice bodhicitta, it's really benefiting ourselves, which this is what I see.
Okay, let's imagine that one is going through a cancerous illness, and the treatment will take 10 years, right? 10 years, and the progress is going to be very slow. For 10 years, you will have tremendous pain, ups, downs, ups. After 10 years, 100% you are going to be cured, 100%. If this is a situation, would you say, oh no, I'll not go with treatment, I would rather now finish my time in this world? Or you will wait for the 10 years? Tell me, what would you do? Huh? Wait for 10 years. It's not a matter of time. Even the time is all relative. Oh, it's so long, right? Okay. And what about these beings suffering? Oh, don't worry, the Buddha Shakyamuni, already Buddha there. And my future Buddha is also there. And there are so many Rinpoches there, right? Okay, so, and then for me, it will take so long. So, okay, right? Now, say finally, if this is a situation, just explore why, right? Why some people, they have a very strong determination. Yes, I will become Buddha for the benefit of other sentient beings. And while other people, okay, it will take me so long, so it's not really a wise idea, right? And so some people may not have this very energetic feeling coming. For others, very energetic feeling coming, no matter how long the time takes. Right? Okay. So this we have to explore. We have to explore what makes someone not so positive, and what makes someone so energetic and so positive. Right? Imagine if it's mother and the child. So that would be more dramatic. If the mother and the child is going through a terminal illness, say cancer illness, and the doctor says that your child will be perfectly all right in 20 years. In 20 years. 20 years you have to suffer. There's no choice. 20 years you will go through the process, the pain, and even the child will have to suffer. But it's up to you. You can quit the treatment, or you continue the treatment, and in 20 years he or she will be perfectly all right. You, as the mother who loves the child so much, what will you do? You want to see the child leaving the world for 20 years, or you still want to wait for the 20 years? What will you do? You want to wait for the 20 years. So this enthusiasm, no matter, time should not come in the way between me and my helping my child. Right? Time should not be a factor to impede me from helping my child. So this will come to us depending on how much you love the child. Right? So when you love one child to that extent, 20 years is nothing for you. Right? In fact, there are amazing stories. Same in India. In India, there's one Indian, the former minister. One Indian former minister. Okay, I'm maybe, if it is not too encouraging in the personal life. How he is taking care of his son, a disabled son. Since birth he was disabled. Now today he is 40, the son. Still the father was taking care of this son, and the father was so busy, but he will never neglect taking care of the son. Now, if his wife is also going through a very deep, bad illness, and now he's taking care of both, he does not neglect taking care of the son and the wife, while he has so many other responsibilities. right? And the son is already 40 years old, and all these 40 years, this father had been taking care. Now he's already a gentleman. You look at this son, he's already 40 years means already grown up. And how the father still looks at her with a tremendous glow, affection, where the mother looks at the small child. Amazing. So it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of how much you love the person. If you love the child so much, time does not matter, right? That the child should be happy, that counts. Likewise, is one child. Now, innumerable beings to whom you love so much, much more than the ordinary mother loves the ordinary child. So when this intense love comes, time is not a factor to be between you and helping all beings, right? So, may I become Buddha? Now the question is, the one question would be that, why should I really have to become Buddha? There are already so many Buddhas, and one Buddha can benefit all sentient beings. There are innumerable Buddhas. So, everybody will be taken care of by innumerable Buddhas. So, what's the point of me become Buddha? This is the question. Okay. So, how the Buddhas benefit the beings? The bonus is not that, okay, now you came to the Jambi retreat. So okay, right? When he becomes Buddha, okay, how many of you came to Jambi retreat many thousand years ago? Okay, this young boy, are you the Wichan? That time? Right? Okay, you come, I'll help you, because you are part of that Jambi retreat. Right? No, for the Buddhas, there's no distinction, right? Everyone, but if this is the love that the Buddha has equally towards all beings, then still some receive the benefit, some don't receive the benefit. So what is that factor which makes the difference? Is so beautifully said by Maitreya, that even if, so he gave a metaphor, even if the God of the rain, showers rain equally, where there's a seed will germinate into sapling, others will remain dry. Right? The rain showers equally to all the places here. Where there is seed, there will germinate into a sprout, into crops. Where there's no seed, will remain barren. Right? So likewise, although the Buddhas, they shower love and affection equally to all sentient beings, where there is a karmic connection, that will be benefited. Right? Now, say for example, the Roslin, you have so many people around you who are karmically connected. Right? When you become Buddha, the first beings who are going to be benefited, no doubt, are going to be two parents and people around you. These are the first beings who are going. And then if you delay your Buddhahood by saying that, oh, there are so many Buddhas, right? Then those people who depend on you, who come and connect with you, they have to delay. They have to wait. They have to wait till Buddha Roslin comes back. And she's not ready. She's not ready, right? So we have to wait in samsara till Roslin becomes a Buddha. And Roslin's not ready, right? Hey, Roslin, what are you doing? Right? Okay, because there's so many Buddhas. No. If you become Buddha, then our seed will germinate, right? Okay, so therefore, karmic connections, those with whom you have karmic connections, is a huge responsibility for us. How many beings are karmic connected, especially with you, and those people, they have to delay their freedom from suffering. They are suffering terribly. And if you delay your Buddhahood, then all of them have to continue to suffer in samsara, right? Okay.
But Geshe-la, if there's infinite lives and... Sorry. If there's infinite lives, wouldn't we have a connection with all the Buddhas from the past who have become enlightened? Like, don't I have a karmic connection with them?
Good question. We have, in fact, the fact is that we are connected with all the Buddhas. We are connected with all the sentient beings karmically. Okay, same, right? In your family, right? The dynamics, if you look at it, in the family, same. All the children, they are coming connected with the parents. Then slowly what happens, one child at a very, very young age leaves for America, and one child leaves for Malaysia, and more often comes to Singapore. Who is in America comes less often, and then one child becomes, say, the MLA, the member of parliament of Singapore, and based with you, with the mother, right? So we see that even within this very small family, we see that the karmic connection can newly be created, stable, not stable, right? Although no doubt they're all karmically connected, but then because of the time duration, how much time you spend with them, so that way again the karmic connection. Now we see that it is like say they say karmic connection, meaning karmic connection is just an overall picture. Within karmic connection, the freshness of the karmic connection. Freshness of the karmic connection, right? The fact that we are together here, this is a very fresh karmic connection being built, right? And then, say, within the freshness, within that, again, some feel closer, some feel little neutral. Within that, again, we see differences, right? So, the karmic connection, freshness, intensity, time duration, time lapse, all these factors put together, then we see that some seed may germinate only after 3 years. Some seed will germinate in 2 years. Some seed will germinate just in few days, right? So how the karmic connection? Karmic connection, equally we have karmic connection, but what kind of karmic connection? The intensity, what intensity, right? And the intensity, very intense at one point, but at one point there's a gap, right? So all these we have to put into consideration. Then we see that there are beings who can very quickly, the karmic connections, we have karmic connection for all, but there are some whose karmic connection is so fresh that we can quickly release them from the suffering, right? And whereas others may take a little more time. And then others may have their own karmic connection with someone else who is not so keen on becoming enlightened for the time being. Right? Who will say that, okay, I'll wait for the time being. There are other Buddhas. Right? Then you're unlucky one. Okay. I think that's it.